Chapter 2, The Hayabusa Village. The village is burning. Before long, Ryu hears the screams of his brethren. Hey everybody, this is RPG, and welcome to another episode of RPG Let's Play that covers Ninja Gaiden Sigma on the PS3. In today's episode, we are going to be going through Chapter 2 in its entirety. So let's get on with the episode that is already in progress. And as you can see, we are starting off back from Mirai's dojo area inside the ninja fortress, and we are going to be making our way to the Hayabusa Village that is being attacked by an unknown fiend, a fiend of some sort. Well, if you could say unknown source of evil. But anyway, when making our way back over to the village, you know, when going through the fortress, we're not going to encounter any enemies whatsoever, so you should be safe to make your way back all the way down to that canyon part, because going back down to that canyon part, and that you will see, you know, that door that we walked past when we were in the last episode before we went up the canyon, that will lead us back to the Hayabusa Village by going that way. You'll see what I mean as we get down there. So we should be leaving the fortress right now, and then we'll make our way down to the canyon area. And you gotta love that music too. I mean, it fits really well how a ninja outside of his village is heading back to his own place to rescue his people. It actually fits really well. There, right there, that was the door that will lead us to back to the Hayabusa Village, and we will have some bats to slay along the way, but we took care of them right there. And this right there, that is the Art of the Fire Wheels. That is one of the Ninpo scrolls that we get, and I will be explaining Ninpo later, probably in the next episode when we use it, but basically all you have to do is press triangle and circle, and you will activate the magic that comes from the Ninpo scroll that you can use to defeat your enemies. Defeating your enemies with Ninpo scrolls, they actually do take lots of damage, so I would recommend not using them unless if you're really in a tight pinch. I know there will be times where you'll probably get in a tight pinch, but try to avoid using them the best you can. But yeah, they will do you. It will do you really well to use them in tight situations. And the treasure chest that we got back there, that was a smoke bomb. Basically, that will stun your enemies or leave them in a staggering state for you to land some hits on them. And speaking of enemies, we have a new one right here. These are the samurais that we are fighting right now. Basically, they are the brute type characters that will do, you know, lots of damage. They're not that quick as the ninjas, but they still do take a lot of damage, and their AI is pretty ridiculous as well. And now let's go ahead and slide down here, and we can automatically walk on water, as opposed to what we could do in the original Ninja Gaiden and Ninja Gaiden Black on the Xbox. You couldn't even run on water. Well, you could run on water, but you couldn't do it automatically like you could in this game, because you had to automatically press buttons in rapid succession to get the walking on water to work that well. But in this game, we can do it automatically, so I think that was a really good touch, because there were some times where I did want to, you know, run on the water by itself. So yeah, I think that was really good. Let's go ahead and that technique right there I used with the you know, slaying the enemy, the ultimate technique, that was what I was talking about. You know, the essence that, you know, that surrounds Ryu after he it goes up all the way to the max. So yeah, that was the ultimate technique. And we got ourselves the map of the Hayabusa Village. Basically, it shows us the layout of the village and where we can go. So but we still have not made it to the village yet, and we should be getting up to it pretty shortly, so just beyond that broken bridge. But we're gonna have to go down there to get it. And I think there's a couple things we can get down here, if I'm not mistaken. Let's go. Yeah, there is. There's one right over there. And we get ourselves, I couldn't tell what we got, but well, the video will show. But and trying to go through the waterfall, it's really hard to get through that too. But in the second treasure chest, we got ourselves a spirit elixir. I think in the first treasure chest, I think that was a life of the gods, or a life of a god. And that is one of the 9 orbs, you know, that will get, that you have to collect in order to increase your life as opposed to the Lives of the Thousand Gods, which will already have 9 of those orbs for you to increase your health really quickly. So let's go ahead and save right here, and just beyond that bridge, like I said, will lead us to the Hayabusa Village, and we will go ahead and make our way over there and see if we can progress on further. But first of all, let's get this Elixir of Spiritual Life, and then let's go ahead and make our way to the entrance. And yes, as you can see, the Hayabusa Village is in a really bad state. It was attacked while Ryu was gone. So we are going to find out who attacked the village and what is the attacker's purpose. But one can only assume that the attacker's purpose is to obtain the Dark Dragon Blade, as Mirai mentioned in the last episode. But we will see who is doing that. And that there is another new enemy right there. That is the Warlock Ninjas. Basically, they are the magician types that will shoot magic at you. So, and sometimes they do melee damage, but it's the magic attacks that you want to worry about the most, and they will disappear after they use their magic for a short time, and then they'll attack from a different place. So be sure you keep your distance with them, and be sure you make close quarters as fast as you can, so that way you can defeat them with no problems, and you should be fine. And let's go ahead and get rid of these samurai here real quick, and we'll see where we go from here. Oh, there's another one over there. Yeah, let's go ahead and get that warlock. Oh, never mind. He just came right to us. So, yeah. Do not mess with Ryu Hayabusa. He will pwn you. And let's go ahead and get that statue head. And we have to take it. And that circle area right there, that stone circle, we will worry about that in a much later episode and where that takes us. But you will see where it does take us afterwards. But now we want to take that statue head back over to the area with the other 2 that have full heads, and we get another Life of the Gods right there. So that was really nice to get that. And let's see, yeah. I wouldn't recommend using the Life of the Gods right now. I would recommend waiting until you get like 9 of them in order to make a full life. So yeah, just wait till you get 9 lives. And that crack right there inside the little shrine, we cannot open that yet until we get a much stronger weapon that can break through cracked walls. And we will get either the Warhammer or the Double Arrow giant sword much later, and they will both crack the walls. I mean, break the walls that have cracks. And we see Ayane right here, who's in really in really bad shape, as she tried to fight a black samurai. And she is warning Ryu not to fight it. But we are going to pursue him nonetheless, and Ayane gives us a bow, which is the other secondary weapon that we can use aside from the shuriken. Basically, these are also long-distance weapons, but they come in limited quantities, so you're going to have to be careful. And that statue back there, the one that was at the back there, let's see if we can go ahead and access it right here. Yes, that statue right there, that is the legendary Blacksmith Muramasa. And he will sharpen your weapons, but I don't think we're going to be able to sharpen any of our weapons right now. But you can shop for items, too. And you know, you can collect high essence, and you can shop for items and stuff that you can save for later use, kind of like in the boss fights. So, yeah, in case if you have a lot of essence, be sure you get a lot of items out of that. But also be sure to collect a lot of essence to upgrade your weapons whenever you have the privilege to do so. Okay, now we're outside, and we're pretty much in more in the inner part of the main area of the village where the villagers interact. But there are no villagers in this village, as most of them have evacuated from the onslaught of the Dark Samurai. So, yeah, we went ahead and took care of those enemies. I know, I always thought you could hit those targets, but you cannot hit those targets in the game. But in Ninja Gaiden Dragon Sword on the DS, you could hit those targets and they will give you blue essence, and that will you know, restore your life in case if you have lost some. Okay, now the samurais on the horses, I wouldn't recommend using the flying swallow technique to hit them. I know sometimes it's trial and error when you use the flying swallow technique, but it won't always, you know, hurt them. So I would recommend that you equip the bow and keep at a good distance, and be sure you keep your aim on the targets, as they will be fast and you will want to use quick reflexes in order to get them off. There are only 4 of these in this area, so yeah, just be sure you keep your distance from them, and be sure to knock them off their horses, so that way you can quickly finish them off. But yeah, but if you're a stubbornhead like me, you would always want to use the flying swallow technique. But yeah, don't be a sucker and trying to use it all the time. Just be sure you use your bow and arrows. I know it's a pain because you have to aim really well, and I know the camera angle's bad, but trust me, it will make it the better. That secondary weapon you have right there, it's a really strong one, and you want to be using it as much as you can against these guys. Sometimes it's really hard to hit the enemies because they're always constantly moving, but I know that sometimes they will be staggering a little bit to move to a different area, and that will give you a little bit of time to try to get in a shot or two on them and to knock them off the horses. But sometimes you can actually shoot the enemies and they will automatically die after they get, you know, after they get hit with the arrows. But yeah, but there was a dead ninja over there, and if you run out of arrows, you can pick some more up from the corpse, because there are lots of them right there. So yeah, if you need a resupply of them, then there you go. Let's go ahead and finish this one off. Alright. And now, after we finish that one off, the debris over here that was on fire, it will subside, and we can go ahead and move on forward. And there's another Muramasa statue right there if you need to buy any items like Great Spirit Elixirs or Elixirs of Spiritual Life or the Great Devil Elixirs, in case if you need something to restore your health or your Ninpo magic gauge. But yeah, go ahead and try to get that. And here we have another Great Spirit Elixir. They come in really big quantities. They're really good to use, but and I don't think we need anything from Muramasa's shop, so let's go ahead and move up here and take a look at some of the stuff that's around here. This is the graveyard area of the Hayabusa Village, and there's not a whole lot around this area, so but I will show some of the stuff that's around in this area, like the shrine, the little shrine over here, and that's another one of those stone circles that we saw from the other shrine down at the entrance of the village. But yeah, like I said, in a later episode, you will see what their use is for. So just be patient and bear with me, okay, folks? Okay, let's see. I don't think we have equipped that just yet. So yeah, let's go ahead and equip it right now. I think it will prove useful for this upcoming fight. But there's a little path right there in case if you want to avoid going down the steps again, so it's a little shortcut to get down. Okay, now we're on this bridge, and now the entrance back over to the village has been destroyed, and we get a new enemy to fight. Yes, this is the second boss of the game, and the second boss is called Masakado, the Flaming Horseman. Just like with the other samurai on the horses, you want to hit him with the bows most of the time, so be sure you have your bows equipped, and be sure you have lots of arrows. I don't think I have plenty of arrows, but I should be able to hit him mostly with the flying swallow technique, so yeah, so I'll have to use some quick reflexes in this battle. With Masakado here, he will have at least 2 warlocks at a time that will help him out in the battle. I would advise going after the warlocks first before you fight against Masakado, because the warlocks, they're as much as a pain as Masakado is, the warlocks are an even bigger pain because they will be interfering on the sidelines, and you want to put an end to them as fast as you can. I think there's probably like 12, 16, or 20 of these, somewhere around there. It's not that much, but after you defeat them, trust me, it will be a lot better when you fight against this boss, because you will not have any interference whatsoever. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I think there was only 12. So, yeah, we're at least doing ourselves good for once. Okay. But, yeah, when you're on the sidelines like that, be sure you try to use your bow against him, because, like I said, the bow is a really strong weapon to use against, any of the enemies in the game, especially the horsemen, or the enemies that are on horses, kind of like this one. And, yeah, be sure you dodge the enemy's attacks, because, like with every boss and every enemy, they are pretty cheap. And, yeah, Tomonobu Itagaki was pretty mean and cunning with his game design in this hack and slash game. So he kind of resorts back to how hardcore games were back during the days of the NES or Super Nintendo. I mean, you had to get nitty gritty with how you played games back then. So yeah, there's a little bit of a nostalgia factor towards that. So that's one of the reasons why I like this game, and pretty much Ninja Gaiden 2 or Ninja Gaiden Sigma 2. That released back in 2008, and the PS3 version a year later. Yeah, so, after defeating this boss, we get a key over here, and that will, we actually get a scroll called the counterattack. And, basically, when you're blocking, you do this little block stance, and when the enemy hits your block stance, that's when you'll do a counterattack, and it will, be really helpful when you fight against them. But let's go ahead and head on up here. But before we do so, let's go ahead and save. It's always good to save your progress, as I do say so myself. And here goes me blabbering again. Blah, 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 blah. Hey, it's what I do to try to keep the commentary up and lively. Now, these are a new type of samurai right here. These are, the white ones, they're a bit more aggressive. And I think they have another new move. They have a new move aside from the regular ones that we fought against at the beginning here, but and they're much of a bigger pain. But yeah, I think we're having a little bit of trouble fighting against these guys. These guys are pretty tough, with the AI that they have. So if you're in a really tight pinch, as I am, be sure you use an elixir of spiritual life or a great spirit elixir, depending on how bad your life is. But make sure that your talisman of rebirth does not go to waste. Trust me, you want to save those as much as you can for the lair fights. Or else you can, die 3 times and play on the Ninja Dog difficulty, but I would not recommend it, because if you're going to play on the Ninja Dog difficulty, then how are you going to be considered yourself an expert in due time? So, yeah. Okay. Went ahead and defeated these enemies right here, so let's go ahead and make our way back over to this little temple area right here. And as we try to go in, there will be flames that are going to hit us, so we want to make sure we stay away from the walls, and we should be fine. Of course, there are some samurais right here. Have to be careful. And if you heard that thump, that was my cat. He likes to get around. I don't usually let him in the house a whole lot in case if I'm working on stuff like this, but at least he keeps me company, especially when we go to bed at night. I love my kitty. We should be done pretty quickly. Shouldn't be much longer until we had to advance further. Okay, I think that about does it right there. So we can go ahead and move outside of this little hut here and move on forward a little bit. And we get another storied cutscene right here. And coming out of that temple is one of Ryu Hayabusa's childhood friends. That is Kureha. And there's not so much to her character, except she is the head priestess of the temple for the Hayabusa Village. And right there, that is the samurai and clad black armor. And we are going to get into a short boss fight with him in this version. Yeah, in Ninja Gaiden Sigma, you do fight against him for a short time, because in Ninja Gaiden and Ninja Gaiden Black, there was an FMV where this guy would automatically strike Ryu down. But you can land some damage on this guy, but you will not be able to defeat him, as it is a storied event. You want to be defeated in this battle for the story to continue on. But don't worry, you will get your revenge at a much later day. So let's go ahead and senselessly try to destroy him, as he's just going to hit us very badly right about here. Yeah. And he defeats us on the spot right there, and that will conclude Chapter 2 after a brief FMV scene of the destroyed Hayabusa Village. And he takes away the Dark Dragon Blade from the Hayabusa Village, as we are going to be trying to get it back, which seems like it is going to be the main focus of this game. A dark blade that is being consumed by the evil within men's hearts. Quite a cunning hawk. And that right there will conclude Chapter 2. And we will be getting to Chapter 3 in the next episode. So I think we are going to go ahead and we're going to end things off right about here. So next time on Double RPG Let's Play with Ninja Gaiden Sigma on the PS3, we are going to be getting into Chapter 3, where we're going to be on this blimp to head over to the Vigurian city of Tyron, and we will see how far we get from there, but I'm assuming we will be getting through the whole chapter. But anyway, take care of yourselves, gamers, and I'll see you on the next episode. See you guys then.